One of the deepest drafts in recent memory. These franchises can completely change after what we just witnessed. So we need to know who is winning, who is losing. Miller, who are your winners?
I'm going to start with the Oakland Raiders. I can tell you that is the first time I've ever said that in my career. But this was a great draft by Reggie McKenzie. We talked about you have to go win now. Getting Khalil Mack, getting Derek Carr in the second round. They didn't reach for a quarterback. There was no panic. I like Gabe Jackson. I really like Keith McGill. The Raiders knocked this one out of the park.
Yeah, I agree with a good pick there. I go with the Houston Texans. So impressed with their draft. Got the best defensive player in the draft in Jadeveon Clowney. Got the best guard in the draft, in my opinion, in Xavier Su'a-Filo out of UCLA. Then they got their starting quarterback, a guy I know that was at the top of their board in Tom Savage in the 4th round. Big time.
And they got the best defensive tackle in the draft in Lewis Nix. So very good draft in Houston. I'm going to go to the San Francisco 49ers. And I know everyone thinks I'm just saying that because I may have been a fan of that team at one point. But look what they did. Jimmy Ward, Carlos Hyde, Marcus Martin, 3 guys who are atop my board at their position. You get Chris Borland. You get Brandon Thomas. Bruce Ellington. I mean, we could keep just going down the list. They did a great job of addressing needs, addressing future needs, and then getting some guys they can redshirt, like Brandon Thomas, getting Aaron Lynch. I really liked what they did.
Yeah, another big-time winner team for me is the Chicago Bears. You want to talk about addressing some needs on the defensive side of the ball. Got one of my favorite corners in Kyle Fuller out of Virginia Tech. Then they addressed their horrible defense against the run last year. Got Will Sutton, got Ego Ferguson, so they add some depth and some good long-term players there. And then you got Kadeem Carey coming out of the backfield, a good all-around running back, going to help in the passing game, almost a minus version of Matt Forte. And then Brock Vereen as a free safety, a guy that you can be nickel or free safety. Bears did a tremendous job.
What's really crazy is I was going to say the Bears, especially, don't forget they got David Fales. And while that might not be a great quarterback off the top, with Mark Trestman, it could be an interesting prospect down the line.
You're right. They needed a backup, too. So that was a very good pick.
With all the winners, there are losers. Unload them, Miller.
The quarterbacks, especially these guys coming out of the SEC. Look at A.J. McCarron. He told everyone in the world he was going to the top 35, and he falls all the way to round 5. Aaron Murray, I understand, coming off the injury at Georgia, but not a very big guy. He falls to round 5. These were quarterbacks normally you think, oh, this is a project. I'll draft him in the 3rd round, but they really fell. Taj Boyd, a big faller. This guy really had a bad senior season. We saw that compounded in the draft. Quarterbacks were not done any favors in the 2014 draft.
No, they were not. My biggest loser is the Cleveland Browns.
Surprise.
Well, I just have so many issues here. This might be a long segment. Okay. Well, you get Johnny Manziel, who I'm not crazy about. Tremendous risk.
But you get him at 22.
We got him at 22, and we think we know the owner pretty much drafted him. It was his draft pick. But now you got issues with Josh Gordon. Okay. He might not be there next year. Nate Burleson, broken arm. They don't draft a wide receiver in the draft. So you draft Johnny Manziel, put this huge investment, and then you're going to not put any players around him to give him a chance to succeed. Makes no sense to me at all. And then, well, that's all I got to say about the Cleveland Browns.
That's it.
That was it.
You're sure there's not more?
That was it. That's just, I don't understand their thought process through the draft.
They really didn't get any weapons at all. I know there's more, and one of them's in the NFC South.
The Carolina Panthers. You talk about not filling your holes. They got Kelvin Benjamin. I thought that was a huge reach in round 1. They have no left tackle. Jordan Gross retired. They've ignored the offensive line. Listen, I love Coney Ely. I thought he was a top 10 caliber player, so that's a good value in round 2, but where's the left tackle? You pick up a guy like Trey Turner, he's going to play guard. And then you start going secondary, Trey Boston, Benny Benwickery. You get another freaking running back, Tyler Gaffney. How many running backs do they need in this Panthers backfield? I don't understand this draft strategy.
Yeah, my other loser is the New England Patriots. I don't think they got a whole lot of players that are going to help.
I thought they were going for a Super Bowl.
Well, you're right, and they just got no players that I think are going to contribute to the team this year. Dominique Easley, he's got tremendous upside, but extremely risky, been injured 2 years in a row. But then after that, they got Garoppolo, not a desperate need. They got some offensive linemen that are not going to contribute here in the next year or two. And the biggest thing to me, too, is the running back, James White. There were some really good backs on the board at the time. Lake Seastrunk was still on the board. Tyler Tyler Gaffney, Lorenzo Taliaferro, Alfred Blue, all guys that I thought were more talented than James White out of Wisconsin. So I got some question marks there.
Yeah, mine would have to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ryan Shazier's a question mark there, but moving forward, I don't know what Dre Archer's going to be. I don't know when Martavius Bryant's going to be there. And I look at Ike Taylor and William Gay and go, you didn't get a cornerback until the 5th round and you stretched for Shaq Robinson? Doesn't make sense for me.
Can I add one more thing, too?
As many losers as you want.
Okay, well, the Cleveland Browns, I just want to get back. I missed one point. I think it's very important. They knew about this Josh Gordon situation for 2 weeks. They had a chance to get Sammy Watkins at number 4 and then didn't do it. Blows my mind. I really don't know what they were thinking.
Winners and losers, we're always going to have them. And this year, Chris Sims thinks the Cleveland Browns, they're wearing the dunce cap.